you tired of being weighed down? Have you fallen asleep on your health? This is your wake up call with my dad, Keith, my husband, Kyle, and me, Ashley.
Good morning, everyone. It's day 178, and this is your wake up call. It is Wednesday, so it's time for What's That Wednesday, where we look out at the world and tell you, hey, what's that? So, this morning, what are we going to be looking at?
Well, this morning we're going to talk about soft drinks or sodas or pop. Oh, I hate saying that, but depending on what part of the country you're from, or even what part you're from, determines what you call these drinks.
Pop.
Yeah. In the South, you'll find people calling any kind of fizzy drink a Coke.
Coke.
Not that bad.
Yeah.
When I say I want a Coke, that's what I legit mean, that I want a Coca-Cola, but you know, it kind of depends on where you're from for all that. But I know that all of us listening, or any of you listening, you know what a soda is probably, and you've most likely had one, or hundreds or thousands like I've had probably. But we're going to take a closer look into how much sugar is actually in certain kinds of sodas and soft drinks. And this, this is knowledge I've always been aware of, but I feel like we all need a good reminder for it, because it's one of my stumbling blocks. Like I like soda, so this episode is kind of a reminder to why we shouldn't drink very many of them. And yeah, so I'm going to quiz y'all real quick. Out of these three sodas, Coca-Cola, root beer, and Mountain Dew, which of them has the highest sugar content per 20 ounces?
Keith, you want to take the first crack?
I'll just say Coca-Cola. I don't really know.
I'm going to say Mountain Dew.
All right, Kyle was right. Mountain Dew has the most amount of sugar per ounce.
48, 47, 48.
Oh, no. Coca-Cola has 65 grams of sugar in a 20-ounce bottle.
Whoa.
Root beer comes in at 74 grams.
What?
Mountain Dew has 77.
What?
Yeah. And Sprite's pretty even with Coke. It's got 64. Coca-Cola has 65, so it's about the same. So yeah, that's just an example of a few different.
Well, here's something that trips me out, is that root beer has that much sugar in it.
Yeah, I read several different charts last night getting ready for this, and it was always way up there, which I would never have thought. But I'm not a huge root beer fan, so, you know, whatever, but it's got
most people think, too, I mean, root beer is a caffeine-free choice. Kind of like Sprite is, it's a caffeine-free choice, so people kind of go to it as a, possible standby. But, man.
Yeah, and to kind of put this into perspective, 1 teaspoon of sugar is about 4.2 grams. So about 4 grams of sugar per teaspoon. So, if you break that down to where you can actually see it in your brain, that's a lot of teaspoons of sugar to drink in a 20-ounce beverage. And that's, the more sugar it's got, the more calories it has. And so it's, you're drinking your calories basically when you're drinking regular soft drinks.
Well, we have to think about this too. When we're talking about teaspoons of sugar, that is solid state sugar. So that is something that's not yet broken down.
Right.
I was looking into some stuff about this kind of, about the same thing. And, just talking about what happens to the body right after you drink a soda. Well, one of the issues is because, a lot of times it's high fructose corn syrup in it. It's a liquid state sugar. Your body doesn't have to work as hard to break it down, in the sense that to digest it.
It goes straight to your bloodstream.
Yeah, it's an automatic hit. So
and it's
within 20 minutes, your blood sugar goes through the roof. Your body makes excess insulin. And so you have this excess of sugar in your blood, and your body does the only thing it knows to do with it, which is store it as fat.
Not in the crash that comes with it,
Yeah.
You drink one of these and you feel good for a little while because your insulin spikes, and your adrenaline, you're feeling good, and there's always a crash that comes with it because it's not sustainable. It's
right.
So I also found another little infographic, and this was on CNN.com, and it was a little bit crazy, but how many Little Debbie Swiss cake rolls can you eat that will equal the same amount as one 20-ounce Coke? How many Little Debbie little Swiss rolls can you eat that has the same amount of sugar as one Coca-Cola?
Are you talking about packages or individual rolls?
Individual rolls.
I'm going to say 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna go the opposite direction. I'm gonna say half. You can't even get through half of a Swiss roll.
Well, Dad was right on this one. You can have 5 Little Debbie Swiss cake rolls.
What?
5 of them. That's how much sugar is in one 20-ounce Coke.
Holy cow.
And it's about on par for Pepsi. Let's see. Pepsi has 69 grams of sugar, so it's got a little bit more than Coke. Guess that explains why it tastes a little bit sweeter than Coke does. But you can eat about the same amount of Little Debbie's, a little over 5. Alright. Those, here's another thing I want to touch on. Some people think that drinking fruit juice, the Minute Maid apple juices or the orange juices, we're not talking about 100% whatever cold pressed juice. I'm talking about just the plain old, you roll up to McDonald's and ask for an orange juice with your biscuit and you get this kind of juice.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people are stuck with this belief that if you're drinking a juice like that you're healthier than drinking a soda, that you're better off. But, Minute Maid makes these 15.2 ounce bottles of orange juice, apple juice, all the juices, okay? And mind you, I said 15.2 ounces, so that's less than a Coca-Cola. How many Oreos do you think you can eat that'll contain the same amount of sugar as one of these 15.2 ounce bottles of apple juice from Minute Maid?
I'm gonna say 10.
Okay.
6.
All right, Kyle was right with this one. You can have 10 Oreos by the time you've consumed one of these bottles of Minute Maid apple juice.
Wow.
That's 49 grams of sugar in a 15.2 ounce bottle.
Holy cow.
So
Man,
don't be fooled by that, guys. Just because it says it's juice,
right,
and it's got real apples on the cover, doesn't necessarily mean it's all juice. And actually, no, I'm wrong about that. It says it's 100% apple juice, but that kind of goes back towards, yes, it's a fruit. But you're taking all the nutritious parts of that apple away, and you're left with the sugar. So you're taking away the fiber, you're taking away the peel, a lot of the vitamins are lost when you juice things. Sometimes they're not, but sometimes they are. And by the time juices like these are processed and cooked,
so they're oxidized out.
Right. Like it's not a fresh juice. It loses a lot of its vitamins. It loses all of its fiber. And so you're just left with sugar that tastes like apples. I misread this label. This one actually says it's 100% apple juice. But like I said, it's 49 grams of sugar, which is the same as 10 Oreos. So what is that doing to your body? It processes that sugar the same way it processes the corn syrup in a Coca-Cola.
Does it say that it is does it say made with 100% apple juice?
The label says 100% apple juice. I don't have a copy of the nutrition facts or anything.
Because one of the ways they kind of bypass a lot of that is they'll say contains 100% apple juice.
This just says 100% apple juice. But I'm sure it's by concentrate. Most of this stuff is,
Yeah.
They can say that and it be a certain amount of water,
Right.
But either way, like I said, by the time this juice is processed, you've lost all of your nutrition out of it. So it's no better than drinking a Coca-Cola.
If anything, it's just
as bad.
Sugar water. Yeah. Flavored sugar water.
And here's something interesting. So, we just talked about this Minute Maid apple juice, 15.2 ounce bottle, 49 grams of sugar. Do you think a Sunny Delight has more sugar or less sugar than that apple juice? Now, Sunny Delight, for people who don't know, it is an orange drink. It is definitely not 100% juice. It's an orange flavored drink, basically.
Yeah, it's a citrus flavored drink.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it's got more.
Okay.
Less.
Right. That's right. So a 16 ounce bottle, that's more than 15.2 for the apple juice, only has 28 grams of sugar. Well, I say only, like that's not much, but compared to that apple juice, it's a lot less. So you could only eat 6 Oreos as opposed to 10,
Wow.
Which is crazy to me. So here you have something that claims to be 100% juice, and then something that people clearly know is mostly just an orange drink, and it has less sugar than the more healthy alternative.
Yeah. Well, you think about, man, this trips me out because you think about kids that come in, and you mention the Oreos. Kids come home in the afternoon, they get a snack. A lot of times parents don't portion that snack out. In addition, they get whatever they want to drink with it. So not only are they slamming back 10 Oreos, which has as much as a Coke, they're slamming back a Coke.
Right.
So they're pumping themselves full of sugar when they get home. They have access. This is something else that in some stuff I looked into concerning sodas last night. It's just the ease of access. It is everywhere. These people have marketed so well that
apple juice. Look at that. That's worse than a Coca-Cola.
Have marketed so well, not just from the apple juice side, but from the soda side.
Oh,
where you could access this stuff in school. I mean, they have a captive audience. And you can get sodas and juice. I remember there being a juice machine in the hallway. They banned sodas for a while, but we still had, Minute Maid juices in the can that you could get.
Oh, I love the fruit punch flavored Minute Maid juice.
But you
it's
didn't
funny,
think about
though,
how much.
They've banned sodas in most schools again in our part of the country. Anyway, I don't know if that was a national thing or what, but I've not been in a school that has a vending machine lately. But I'd venture to say they've got those juices in there as opposed to soda.
Doesn't Coca-Cola distribute Minute Maid?
They sure do.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
They sure do.
Well, Coca-Cola is a brilliant advertiser, so well, it's just crazy. I want to run through a few more that I saw on CNN. That was insane to me. So
talking about fruit juice and drinks real quick.
Yeah.
You also think about school lunches. What the options kids are given to drink at school lunch. They kind of have a water option, but it's not really pushed. In the South, I remember growing up, I had an option between, of course, you got milk, which you're talking about the lactose in milk has a large sugar content. They're given option of for me, we had Purity lemonade or Jungle Juice, which is nothing but sugar.
Yeah.
The lemonade didn't even have real lemon, I don't think. It's made with citric acid. And then, sweet tea was an option. A lot of kids would get the sweet tea because they could pour it themselves and get a bigger glass.
I think depending on who's making the sweet tea, a sweet tea could be worse than a Coca-Cola.
Oh, yeah.
Or a sugar content.
Oh, yeah. Anyway,
speaking of milk, though, I did find another little thing on CNN. So, an 8-ounce glass of skim milk. Now, skim is the milk that has most of the fat stripped out of it. It's watery, but, I mean, that's what we drink. Well, that's what I had on my cereal growing up. I won't say that I drank it very much because I'm just not a milk fan. So an 8-ounce glass of skim milk has 11 grams of sugar. That's equal to about 4 Starburst candies.
Wow.
So even what's marketed as the healthiest milk out there, dairy milk or cow milk, still has 11 grams of sugar per 8 ounces.
Well, when you take one macro component out of something, the other two macros are going to move up.
Yeah.
In other words, you take the fat out, the protein and carb content's going to go up.
That's right. And that's another way that snack companies pull the wool over people's eyes, and food companies in general. They'll market something as reduced fat or no fat. Well, you have to watch it buying that stuff too, because you can turn the label around and if it has less fat, it's probably going to have more sugar or more preservatives or whatever it is. When you give away a component, you're going to be getting something else tenfold in its place. But yeah, there are a few more examples on here. Those really tall Arizona green teas in the can.
Oh, yeah.
23 ounces. Those have 51 grams of sugar.
Wow.
Your mama loves those.
She does. That's equal to 20 Hershey's Kisses.
Yep.
And it says green tea on it, and green tea is healthy, right? So everyone thinks, oh, I'm gonna grab this green tea instead of drinking this Coke because it's better. It's not. A Lipton iced tea in the bottle, 20 ounces. You can have 12. It has a little bit less sugar than Arizona, but you can still eat 12 Hershey Kisses. So it's got 32 grams of sugar. And I found some statistics about sodas in previous decades. Oh, wait, one more that I want to share. So everyone likes to drink those big old Gatorades. I love great Gatorade. So we get like the 32-ounce ones, and they've come out with like the G2 and the G0 or whatever it's called that has less sugar but more like artificial sugar.
Electrolytes, yeah.
Well, a 32-ounce Gatorade bottle has 56 grams of sugar. That's equal to 5 Reese's peanut butter cups.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that one blew my mind. Anyway, but if you go to CNN.com, you can search how much sugar is in that drink, and it gives you all these pictures. I didn't even tell y'all all of them. It talks about Starbucks. It talks about Red Bull, Dunkin' Hines. It even talks about like Silk almond milk and how much sugar's in that. I mean, it goes through all this stuff. But another thing I found that was really interesting I want to share is about soda throughout the decades. Before the 1950s, a standard soda bottle was only 6.5 ounces. And so back then, soda was not really even something most people kept in their house. It was a treat if they were out somewhere. And even when they had it, it was only 6.5 ounces. That was in the 50s. Well, in the 50s, or before the 50s, in the 50s, that's when they came out with the 12-ounce can. And it was widely available by the early 60s. By the 1990s, that's when the 20-ounce bottle came out. And so that was the thing. Everybody had the 20-ounce bottle. So within 40 years, we went from 6.5-ounce bottles to 20-ounce bottles.
Well, I'll tell you, in the early 70s, they came out with a 32-ounce bottle.
Wow.
That we used to get. And
yeah.
They were deposit kind of bottles. You take them back and get
they were glass?
Yeah, they were glass. 32 ounces.
Huh.
1970. I'm going to say 1974, 75, somewhere in there.
Crazy. Well, and in the 70s, sugary drinks made up about 4% of the United States daily calorie intake. It's only 4%. By 2001, it got up to 9%.
Wow.
And it only got higher from there. Children in the United States averaged 224 calories per day from sugary drinks in 1999 to 2004. So that's 11%. So it got from 9% in 2001 for just America in general, but when we're talking about children, it's even higher. It's 11%. And then from 1989 to 2008, it increased by 60%. So it went, to even more calories as the decades have gone on. And here's some more scary statistics. And y'all, like I said at the beginning of this episode, I love soda, and it's always a stumbling block for me. And so every once in a while, I need to go down a rabbit hole and read this stuff to kind of remind myself to stay away from those as much as possible.
Oh, yeah.
And, if you plan to drink a Coca-Cola at a ball game and, that's what you plan to do and you only drink one, then I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about getting into a habit you're drinking this stuff all the time, every meal, every day. Okay.
Yeah, you go out to eat and you drink, 4 giant glasses.
Yeah, and you don't even think about it because, yeah. Anyway, so people who consume sugary drinks regularly, that is 1 to 2 cans a day or more, have a 26% greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes than people who rarely drink sugary drinks.
Wow.
26% higher.
100% for me.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we had a lot of Coca-Cola in our house growing up, so.
Yep.
But you just don't think about it when you're drinking something. You're not thinking about the sugar or the calories that you're consuming. It's just a drink.
It tastes delicious, and
and if we're trying to do better, sometimes we'll say, oh, I'm not gonna eat that Little Debbie, but we don't think about drinking something with that much sugar. And like I said, you can have 5 Little Debbie Swiss cake rolls by the time you drink 20 ounces of Coke. I just think people, when we're drinking our calories instead of eating them, we're just not as aware. We're not as conscious of what we're putting into our body. It also increases, 20% higher risk of having a heart attack or heart disease. That goes for men and women both. And all of these studies I'm reading right now came from Harvard. They did a study here recently and a bunch of research on sugary drinks and the effect on people.
I would tell you one of the things that I've seen in my life that sugary drinks bring is they're hard on your liver and your kidneys. Your kidneys especially.
Right.
I can remember growing up and knowing people whose parents would drink, 5 or 6 sodas a day. Specifically around here, Sundrop was huge. And they would go through a 6-pack of 20 ounces in a day. Well, they ended up having kidney stones and stuff. All the salts and sugars, all of that. Their body was trying to process that stuff out. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Just crazy what it does to the body.
Yeah, it does. But, we're not talking just heart disease or just diabetes. It can wreak havoc on your whole system if this is a part of your regular day-to-day thing. And it has been in parts of my life. And that's, they're attributing sodas to causing more weight gain than food.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And in my house it was Coca-Cola. In Kyle's house it was Sundrop. Man, like we talked about earlier, they are so good at advertising, and for me, Coca-Cola, since it's been around so long and it's always been a part of my life, it's nostalgia in a bottle. You drink it and you think of when you were a kid, and you think of vacations, you think of your grandparents, you start thinking of all these things, so you have all of these emotional ties to your food and drink. True. At least, in my case. And man, that's just a whole nother facet to eating. But
well, we could, probably we need to do a part 2 on this, because there's just so much to talk about. So, but man, it's a lot of knowledge that we've already got today, and so we'll pick up next week, because there's a whole other side of this that we haven't really explored yet. That's diet sodas.
Right.
And you start looking at some of that stuff, it does get really crazy. So, hey guys, we want to thank you for listening this morning. I don't know about you, but man, there's just a lot of knowledge. It's a lot to process. hope that you've gained something from this. We'd love to hear feedback from you. What's your favorite soda? What sneaks into your, where does it sneak into your diet on a daily basis? Just let us know through social media. You can find us at Our Heavy House on Facebook and Instagram. We'd love to talk to you there. Don't forget to subscribe to us, so that way that you can hear these wonderful podcasts each and every day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.